given an exercise at one point to basically reset your vagus nerve. And that goes, I don't know how much you know about that, but it goes from your brain all the way down to your gut. So it's like the main brain gut connection is through the vagus nerve. And that is what stimulates you being in your like parasympathetic or sympathetic, your fight or flight or your rest and digest. So a lot of times when we have that overactive stress response, that's why we can't process and have a healthy digestive system, because we are in that fight or flight nervous system that just completely shuts all that component of the body down. Like that's not a priority when you're facing stress and trauma and like fighting for your life. So I think that now I'm just going to deep dive into trying to like reset the vagus nerve. And I'm noticing that that helps a lot. So one way you can do that is through breathing exercises. And Virgo is also very like systematic and concrete, and they kind of need like structure guidelines. So this breathing exercise is very concrete. And if you do it a couple minutes every day, it'll automatically like shift your vagus response back into the rest or digest phase. So if you're ever like really stressed out, or you know you're like spinning like top and you just need to bring it down, then you can try this breathing exercise. And we'll sit up nice and tall. You can bring your eyes to a gentle close. And the way that you do this breathing pattern is, just to explain it one time before you do it, you inhale for a count of 4, you hold for a count of 7, and then you exhale out of your mouth for a count of 8. So 4, 7, and then 8, but we'll talk it through. And on your next inhale, we'll inhale for a count of 4, ready? Hold for a count of 7. Exhale out of your mouth for a count of 8. All right, let's do that again. Inhale 4. Hold for 7. Exhale for a count of 8. One more time together. Inhale 4. Hold for 7. Exhale out of your mouth for 8. Do that 2 more times on your own. That kind of brought us down instantly. So we're going to focus on digestive twists in this practice because, like I said, Virgo rules the digestive system, also the nervous system, which is why we just kind of tried to tap into that. And we will get started by doing the moon salute. So instead of a sun salutation, a moon salutation is more grounding, calming, and it's preferable to do this at night, especially under the full moon. So you can come to stand at the top of your mat. And for the moon salute, we're going to go one way and then come back the way that we just came. So it's a little different than the sun salutation. We'll start in mountain pose, palms facing forward, shoulders rolled back and down, chest leaning forward. And when you're ready, we'll bring our arms overhead and inhale. Grab your left elbow to your right wrist. We'll bend over to the left, starting to stretch that right side body. Come back to center. Switch your grip, right hand to left wrist, leaning over to the left, stretching that left side body. Back to center. And this salutation instantly drops you into goddess pose. So wide-legged stance. Drop it down, lock that pelvic floor, bring your arms out towards cactus arms, open up your heart center, and then let's inhale up to star pose, straighten your legs, take up space, and on your exhale, we will turn towards the left, towards the top of your mat or whatever direction that is. Move that right foot forward slightly, bend from the hips, we'll come down into pyramid pose over that left leg. Exhale here. Then you can plant your palms, step back into a low lunge, bringing your right knee onto the mat. Palms are planted to keep you rooted and grounded down. Maybe gentle gaze towards the ground. As you exhale, your hips will sink a little deeper. And now you can walk your hands around. We'll come into a side lunge on the left. Yeah, whatever side you're on there, just go into a lunge on that side. Continue to walk your hands around. We'll come into a wide-legged forward fold. Head drops down. Maybe your hands reach out towards your feet as your head hangs. And then you'll continue walking over to that other side as you take a low lunge onto your right. Your hips drop down towards the mat on your left knee. Nice big exhale, maybe your hips sink a little deeper. And when you're ready, we'll step that left foot forward, shorten your stance. We'll come up into a pyramid pose. So you're bending over that right leg. Head hanging down towards the ground. Hands on either side of your foot. And then we'll open back up. We'll come into star pose, take up space, nice and big. Maybe you wiggle your fingers and your toes. And then exhale, drop it down into goddess pose again. Chest facing forward, locking that pelvic floor. Exhale. And then we'll meet at the top of our mat as we inhale into overhead, upward facing salute. Maybe a baby back bend. And bring your palms down into mountain pose. All right, that was one round of the moon salute. Did that make sense the way that you flow in and back over? Okay. All right, let's do that one more time. Inhale your arms overhead, upward facing salute. And let's exhale into goddess pose. Sinking your pelvis down towards the ground, tucking your tailbone, opening your chest up. Extend into star pose, wiggle your fingers and toes, take up space. And we'll move over to the left. We'll come into a pyramid pose. So you're shortening your stance with that right leg. Exhale over that left leg. Fingers come down towards the mat, coming into a pyramid pose. Head hangs. Remembering to breathe. As you exhale, let's drop that right knee down towards the mat, coming into a low lunge. Left knee is bent, hands on the mat. Keeping your gaze down, keeping you grounded. Another exhale as your hips drop down towards the ground. And now walk your hands over. We'll come into a wide-legged forward fold. Head hangs down. Maybe your hands come underneath your shoulders as the crown of your head reaches towards your mat. Exhale as you sink a little deeper. And now let's walk our hands over towards our right leg as we come into a low lunge with our right knee bent, left knee on the mat. Exhaling those hips towards the ground. One more inhale and exhale. Pressing into your palms, lifting up that back knee, shortening your stance, coming into a pyramid pose with your torso hanging over that right leg. Crown of your head reaching towards the mat. Exhale, and on your next inhale, open up into a star pose, take up space. Wiggling your fingers and your toes, drop it down into goddess pose. Really opening up those chests with goddess arms. And now let's make our way towards the front of our mat, coming into our upward facing salute. Maybe you take a slight baby back bend. And then let's meet in mountain pose. Take another minute to root into the earth, palms face forward, feeling that energy. Shoulders are rolled back and down. We're going to take one more moon salute. Inhale, arms overhead. Nice and big, maybe a baby back bend. As you exhale into goddess pose. You can either have cactus arms or you can bring your palms to touch if that feels nice. So we might linger here for just another second. Really get the most out of this last goddess pose. And then let's extend straight and come into star pose, taking up space. From star, we'll shorten our stance by bringing that right leg forward a little bit. We'll take a pyramid, turning over our left leg. Torso coming down over our left leg, head drops down towards the ground. Exhaling your crown down towards the mat. And on your exhale, we'll drop down into a low lunge. So your left knee's bent, right knee's on the mat. Palms, maybe they come to the inside of your left foot. So both of your hands are on the inside of your left foot. This is more like a lizard pose, but it can help you get into your hips a little deeper for this last moon salute. And let's walk our hands around. You can take a wide-legged forward fold, or you can drop down into a yogi squat. If your hips are tight, this is a great pose to kind of work on that. I'm struggling with it right now. You can bring your palms to touch and your elbows can press out against your knees. That'll help stretch your glutes a little bit. Heck yeah, drop that tailbone down towards the ground. Looks like Ollie's doing it. All right, let's walk our hands over towards the right now, coming into a low lunge. Left knee's on the mat, right knee bent. Maybe you bring your hands to the inside of that right knee this time. Dropping your hips down towards the ground. And when you're ready, press into your palms, shorten your stance by bringing that left foot forward, coming into a pyramid pose. Head drops over that right thigh. And from pyramid, we'll open up into a star pose. Nice and wide. As you exhale and drop it down into goddess pose, you can bring your palms to touch or have cactus arms. Exhale. And then inhale, we'll all meet at the top of our mat for one more upward facing salute in this series. And exhale your arms back down, coming into a mountain pose. Exhale. Take a few breaths on your own. From here, we will exhale into a forward fold. You might need a nice gentle bend in your knees. As you continue to warm up your legs, if you have tight hamstrings, keep a gentle bend in your knees. We'll come up to a halfway lift, bringing your palms to your shins, creating a long line from your tailbone to your crown. And then we'll exhale down towards your mat, forward fold, plant your palms, come into a downward facing dog. Exhale. So our first downward dog of the night. So if you need to walk out your dog by alternating, bending your left and your right leg. All right, we will come down onto our hands and knees. Take a couple cat cows. So your palms should be underneath your shoulders. And as you inhale, you'll drop your belly down towards your mat, round your tailbone up towards the sky, shoulders roll back and down, gentle tip to the chin, taking cow. And as you exhale, pull your navel towards your spine, rounding your spine into cat, tailbone down towards your mat, and inhale, we'll take cow. Chest comes forward, tailbone up towards the sky. Excellent. Exhale, rounding your spine, dropping your tailbone down towards the mat. A few more cat cows on your own. Find your own range of motion, whatever feels good. And when you're ready, we will plant our right thigh on the mat, right palm plants, and then your left leg extends and your left arm opens up towards the sky. Really feeling that chest opening as you look up towards your hand. Maybe you wiggle your fingertips, pointing your left toes, feeling one long line of energy from your finger to your toes. And we'll exhale, bring that back down towards the mat, coming back onto your hands and knees. From here, we'll widen our stance just a little bit, so taking your knees out a little wider, like you're going to come into a child's pose. You can walk your palms forward a little bit. And from here, we'll just take some hip circles. Maybe you go one way and then you change directions. Just finding some mobility in your hips. It's always nice to try to release that on the full moon. This is where we hold a lot of energy and emotions, and that can be running high during the full moon. So when you're ready, drop your tailbone back. We'll come down into a child's pose. Head comes towards the mat. Maybe you rock your forehead back and forth, massaging your third eye and your temples. Shoulders relax down away from your ears. Heart drops towards the mat. And when you're ready, we will plant our right palm, lift our left palm up towards the sky, taking a nice chest opening stretch. Take a couple wrist circles. And then we'll thread the needle with that left hand coming underneath our right, rolling on towards your left shoulder. Maybe your tailbone comes up in the sky. One more breath. And on your next inhale, we'll lift that left arm back up towards the sky. And we'll plant it back down on the mat as we take that on the right side. So lifting that right arm open towards the sky. Take a couple of wrist circles. And then exhale that through. Tailbone might lift towards the sky. Coming onto that right shoulder as you thread the needle. And when you're ready, on your next inhale, bring that right arm back up towards the sky. As you plant your palms, And press up and back into a downward facing dog. Again, maybe you walk it out. Find some movement and mobility. Maybe your heels lift off the mat. Really thinking about getting that tailbone up towards the sky as your ears drop down by your arms. And when you're ready, we'll drop down onto our knees, tabletop position. We'll take some cat-cows. You're already familiar with these, so just go ahead and take them at your own pace. Remembering to pull your navel towards your spine as you exhale in cat. And as you inhale in cow, dropping your navel down towards the ground as your shoulders round down, your chest opens. Few more rounds of cat-cow. And this time we'll plant our left palm and our left knee stays on the mat. Your right leg can extend behind you as you point your toes, opening your chest up. One long line of energy from your fingertips to your toes. And as you inhale, continue to expand that chest open towards the ceiling. Exhale, we'll bring that palm back down onto the mat. You can go ahead and widen your stance just a little bit, knees coming out, palms coming forward, as if you're about to go into a child's pose. But first, we're going to do those hip circles again. Just playing around with it, loosening up. Maybe you change directions, go back the other way. And then we'll drop it back down into a child's pose. Letting your forehead rest on the mat, massaging your third eye, rocking it back and forth if that feels good for you. This is a moment of stillness, a moment to release, letting go of whatever doesn't serve you, and welcoming in the next moon cycle. From child's pose, we'll press up and back into a downward facing dog. And when you're ready, slowly walk your feet towards your hands. We'll come up to stand slowly, vertebrae by vertebrae, with your head and shoulders being the last part to come up. All right, getting back to our grounded self. We're going to work on a little balance and a few digestive twists to kind of reinforce that Virgo theme. So we will start in mountain pose. From here, we're going to root into our left leg. Our right foot comes forward, palms face forward. On your inhale, lift your foot about 3 inches off your mat. And hold. We will lift another 3 inches. And then as high as you can lift your foot, go ahead, hold. Working on our balance. From here, we're going to kick it back into warrior 3. So your right leg extends back behind you. Your hands come out in front of you as if you're holding the full moon. If you wobble out of it, just come back in. And then let's bring that back down onto the mat. Ooh. All right, shake it out. We're going to even that out and take it on the left side now. So rooting into that left leg. This way so you can see my warrior three a little better. Oh, sorry, we're rooting into the right now. Rooting into the right, and the left leg is going to come forward again, lift it 3 inches off the mat. Another 3 inches. And then as high as you can lift that left leg with your toes pointed, working on that balance of your right leg. Nice big inhale. On your exhale, we'll kick it back into warrior three. Again, like you were holding a full moon in front of you, toes flexed, pointed down towards the ground, warrior three. One more big inhale and exhale. And drop it down. That was beautiful. Okay, and we'll take a couple digestive twists. So for that, we're going to take a chair pose. So about a little closer than hips width distance apart for your feet. And as you exhale, we'll bring those palms coming forward, sitting down. Excellent. And from here, we're going to bring our palms to touch at heart center. As you exhale, we'll twist over towards the right. So you're going to bring your left elbow to your right thigh. Trying to keep your knees in one line. You can press your palms together and that'll help twist a little deeper. Really thinking about twisting those internal organs right there. This helps wring them out, stimulating your digestive system. And let's exhale, forward fold. Letting go of that twist. Take one more inhale and exhale. As we come on up into another chair pose. Hands coming out in front of you again, like you're holding that full moon. Exhale, bring your palms to touch at heart center. And then we'll twist to the left, bringing your right elbow to your left knee. Palms coming to touch as you press into each other. You'll twist a little deeper. Again, stimulating that digestive system. One more big exhale as you twist a little deeper. And then let's bring it down, forward fold. You can plant your palms and press up and back into a downward facing dog. And from here, we will make our way to a seat. All right. We're going to start the part of the practice where we slow some things down. So if you have a blanket nearby that you might want, or if you want to put on any socks or something, I know that's what I like to do. Get a little cozy. And now this is like the real juicy stuff that really seals it in. Okay, we will start with a butterfly pose. So your soles of your feet can come to touch in front of you. And this is a perfect butterfly pose right here, or you can start to lean from your hips, bringing your torso down towards your feet. You might feel a bit more of a stretch in those hips up into your lower back. You can play around with the distance of how far, how close your feet are until you find that nice sweet spot that feels good, doesn't cause any pain. Really surrendering to the pose. Every breath, focus on whatever spots have tension and direct your breath into those areas. We'll go ahead and extend our feet out in front of us. Keeping nice relaxed knees, almost a little gentle bend in the knees. As we inhale, sit up nice and tall. And exhale from your hips, bringing your torso down towards your thighs. Maybe you grab your feet or behind your calves. You let your head hang, bringing it down towards your knees. Exhale one more time. And roll back up. Returning to a seated position. Nice long spine. We're going to take a few more twists. So we can bend our right knee, bring our right foot in towards our body. And you can either take an open twist or a closed twist. So if you're taking a closed twist, you'll inhale your right hand up towards the sky and bring it back down behind you as you twist your body in towards your right thigh. Other option would just be to reverse that and open the other way. So as you inhale, you lengthen your spine. And as you exhale, you can twist a little deeper as you look over your right shoulder. Inhale to lengthen, exhale to twist. And just for the sake of it, I say we go and twist the other way as well. So now let's turn. We're twisting over towards the left. So your left hand is going to come behind your hip. And your torso is twisting open, nice open chest over towards the left. All right, let's straighten that leg back out. And now we'll bend our left leg, bringing our left foot in towards our body. We'll start with a closed twist first. So we'll inhale our left hand up towards the sky. Exhale, twisting over to the left. Bring your left palm behind you. Right hand can hold on to that left thigh. As you inhale, lengthen the spine. As you exhale, we'll twist a little deeper. One more nice big inhale, find some length. Exhale, let it go. We'll twist over towards the other side now. So inhaling your right hand up and it comes behind you. Opening your chest up towards the right side. You can even think about relaxing your abdomen, letting your belly soften as you twist. And then we'll come back to center. One more time, let's just inhale to lengthen and take a nice seated forward fold, evening it out. And when you're ready, you can roll down onto your mat, coming onto your back. This is where we will need a blanket. So you'll want to kind of roll that blanket up. Just a nice little, this is gonna help support us as we take a supported bridge pose. All right, so we'll roll onto our backs. Can you still see me okay? Okay. All right. Your knees can be bent. And inhale to lift your tailbone up. We'll just place that blanket underneath our tailbone. So this is just a slightly elevated, supported bridge, palms up towards the sky. Nice and neutral neck. Letting your chest soften. And from here, you can play around with letting your knees fall to the side. So you open up your hips, kind of taking a butterfly pose. If it feels good, you can bring them in and out. Really working on that hip mobility, or you can just find stillness. Surrendering to this pose. Again, directing your breath towards any tension you feel. And when you're ready, we'll remove that blanket from under your tailbone, lifting your hips up, letting that go. We're going to take a figure four. So you can leave your left knee bent on the mat, and then your right foot will cross over. Your right ankle will come to your left thigh, taking a figure four. This is a perfect figure four right here, or if you'd like a little deeper stretch in your hips, you can start to bring that left thigh in towards your chest and perhaps grab behind that left thigh. Continue to focus on that inhale and exhale, keeping them nice and even. And release that down to the mat. We'll switch our grip. So this time your right knee is bent, right foot placed on the mat, left ankle is crossed over onto your right thigh, making the number four. Again, this is a perfect figure four right here. Or you can go a little deeper by grabbing behind that right thigh, pulling it in towards your body. Surrendering to this pose, breathing into any areas you feel tension as we start to slow down our practice, preparing for meditation and shavasana. We'll take a supine twist so you can extend both of your legs out. We'll start by twisting to the right first. So you'll actually shift your hips slightly to the left, and then you'll bring your left leg over as you twist to the right. So your left leg is crossing over your right. If you need a blanket to place under your knees, sometimes that feels good and kind of really allows you to surrender to this pose if you're not paying attention to holding your leg up. Your arms can come out to a T, or you can place your right hand on your left thigh to guide it down towards the mat. You focus on keeping your shoulder blades back and down towards your mat. You'll feel a nice twist through your abdomen. Again, last chance to stimulate those digestive organs. And we'll relax that back down towards the mat. We'll twist over to the left this time, so you'll shift your hips just slightly to the right, and that will allow your right leg to twist over. Maybe placing a blanket underneath that right knee. As you open your arms up, palms facing up, shoulders back and down towards your mat. You can still focus on lengthening with your inhale and twisting deep with your exhale. Again, this is the last twist of our practice, so you can really bring out those internal organs one more time. One more inhale to lengthen, exhale to twist. As we bring everything back down towards the mat, if you have a blanket you'd like to place over you for Shavasana in meditation, if you want to turn your lights down a little low, take a moment to do all that. So as we get settled in Shavasana, I will lead you through a brief guided meditation, and then we'll finish up with a few moments of silence to really seal in our practice. So please bring your eyes to a gentle close. Begin to release anything you're holding on to from that yoga practice. You just worked on processing, digesting, twisting, assimilating, and now we're going to release that. We will focus on the samana vayu, which is the energy that is contained in your abdomen. It spins in a circle and extends. So that's what we will be imagining during this little meditation. So start to envision a multicolored spiral that originates at your navel center. Can spin in whatever direction you imagine. As it spins, you feel a sensation of centering and balancing. It starts by your navel center and expands outward in a gentle spiral. It extends all the way out to the corners of your body, your fingers, your toes, all the way up towards your crown. This energy helps process all of your physical, emotional, and spiritual sensations. Extends beyond your physical body. As you continue to envision this spiraling energy. I will just read a brief passage about the Hermit, which is the Virgo energy. She wanders without fear of the dark and treacherous trail through the mountains of inner discovery. She holds her lantern up to the blackness of her subconscious, revealing what was once hidden. She demands reflection, space for growth, the clearing of cluttered mind. She requires all action to be authentic and aligned to one's own truth. Her lamp casts only a small circle of light, indicating that both moving forward and sitting still are demanded in the search for higher self. She asks for seclusion and contemplation. She encourages pilgrimage, retreat, a journey to sacred lands. She is guided by her own North Star, the voice within. She stops, she listens. She knows that her destination always is ultimately herself. Savasana. And start to wiggle your fingers and your toes so you come back to the present moment. And pick a side, roll onto that side. And in your own time, with your eyes remaining closed, you press your palms into the floor and push up to a seated position. You can rub your palms together, create a little heat. Place your palms over your navel center, your heart center, and your eyes. As they gently flutter open, you remove your hands, coming back to the present moment. Thank you so much for joining me on this Virgo full moon practice. I hope this helped with people digestion, processing, and moving forward as we start a new moon cycle. So thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next moon.